Indiana Jones, The Complete Adventures. I think your box set is out of date.
Well, maybe it shouldn't be.
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, and that's Bill, and today we are watching Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, directed by James Mangold. So, Bill, what did you think of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
You know, sometimes you should quit while you're ahead.
So good?
So sometimes you should definitely quit while you're ahead.
Okay, this movie is confusing.
It's a mixed bag.
I don't think it's like flat out bad.
No, but...
I don't think it's better than Crystal Skull.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Which wasn't better than Last Crusade by a country mile. And I don't even dislike Crystal Skull. It's just an objective truth, as far as I'm concerned.
So, how do we go about talking about this movie?
So we'll start at the beginning, which is technically, it feels like the third act of a different Indiana Jones movie we didn't get to see, which...
It feels like a better movie that we should have seen.
It was it's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it was proper young Indiana Jones punching Nazis and doing dashing rogue shit.
The de-aging wasn't too bad either.
Well, they were smart to keep it at night.
Yeah.
And the lights flashing on his face and stuff.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I do still feel like they should have just cast a younger actor, but, it is what it is. But yeah, that part is pretty good. It sets up, I guess, what the main plot of this movie is this... I forgot what the weird Greek name for it is.
Yeah, the titular Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Because Nazis found half of it. Nazi scientists is all like, we could use this to fix mistakes.
Indeed. Yeah, it's weird. The beginning of the movie is pretty good. I mean, we gotta mention it. There's both like the Disney Castle logo and the Paramount logo for some reason.
I was surprised by both of them because they've shied away from the Disney Castle on like Lucasfilm and Marvel stuff, but there it is in all its glory. I would have given this movie so much credit if the Disney Castle faded out into a Nazi castle.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have done it, but man, I would have given them props. But no, they did the Paramount logo and then the Lucasfilm logo. I'm like, wait a minute, you have the Paramount logo. You're not going to do the Paramount logo to the Rock thing or whatever? You broke the tradition for some reason.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't even know why the Paramount logo was there.
They must have something to do with the franchise still. They're still credited somehow.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have it there, do the thing. Do the tradition. Why are you bucking tradition? It makes no sense.
It is weird.
Zoom in on something pointy, like a spearhead. I don't know.
Yeah, Nazi helmet.
No, wrong World War.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is not when they had the spikes on their heads. That was with the Kaiser.
I mean, they were teasing a honestly much more interesting artifact with the tip of the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah.
Though it was apparently a fake.
Yeah. Yeah, the Lance of Longulus or whatever they call it.
Whatever.
But yeah. So this movie is kind of a mixed bag, and it kind of does some things that like immediately annoy you by being like, Indiana Jones is separated by his wife now, and you're like, oh, they had to make him sad, I guess.
Also, his son's dead.
Yeah, his son went to Vietnam for like weird reasons.
Despite his father, even though he might have been too old, I don't know.
It's kind of unclear about that.
Like, okay, this feels like a weird overreaction to what people's reaction to Mutt in 2008. Guys, it's 2023.
Yeah.
You have people that are probably okay with that character now, and now he died off screen because he needed to make Indiana Jones sad, even though, why would you need to make Indiana Jones sad? That's not it. What are you doing?
Yeah, it kind of like immediately, like, it's like, oh, okay.
They're doing this thing again.
Yeah.
They're doing the sad old guy thing again.
Yeah. The sad has-been.
Oh, he doesn't come off as a has-been.
Well,
to be fair,
I guess, but like the intro.
He's old though.
The
old as
intro
fuck.
is so sad because like it starts with like when you see old Andy, he's like asleep in front of the TV in his underwear, and you're like, oh, we're doing this. And then as soon as I saw him, like, he's making coffee and he pours like the liquor in the coffee, I'm like, oh no. And then you see the paperwork of like him and Miriam getting separated. You're like, oh no. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
We need to do it like this. It barely factors into much of the movie, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So that makes it feel just unnecessary and pointlessly cruel.
Yeah. It's kind of like, okay. So,
Do they just have one idea now? Make people sad? Look, Obi-Wan made sense to be sad. He witnessed genocide firsthand.
yeah. He lost the war, his best friend betrayed him, and then his best friend fell in a pool of lava, and he couldn't finish him off, and now he's like the most evil robot overlord of Star Wars.
And then, you know, arbitrarily make Luke sad because reasons.
Yeah.
But now also Indiana Jones is arbitrarily sad because reasons.
I guess that's what Lucasfilm does now. It's like, you remember your childhood heroes? They're sad now, just like you.
I would ask if Willow was sad, but nobody saw it.
Yeah. I don't know anybody really that continued watching that show.
I don't know anybody that... If I asked anybody if they watched Willow, their response would be, what the hell's that?
Yeah, that too.
And it's gone.
It is gone. You can never watch it again.
Well, I guess you could buy a bootleg.
True. So anyway, I guess Indiana Jones teaches at the college. He's in New York City now,
Just because.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then he's teaching a class of disinterested people who are clearly just there as a requirement to fulfill their major.
Yeah.
Because nobody in that room gave a crap.
Pretty much.
Unless he's just really bad as just old Indiana Jones is boring and lame, maybe, I don't know.
He's become the thing he hated. He used to make history come alive, and now he's just like the boring old Professor Jones.
He's like, I've become my father.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about the new character. I think her name is Helena or Elena.
I don't remember. Her last name is Shaw.
He calls her Wombat sometimes.
We don't know why.
Yeah.
Then again, I guess we don't need to know why. It's like with Short Round. Why is he called that? Well, actually, we know why he's called that. He was short. He was a very short kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's Indiana Jones's goddaughter, who he pretty much like didn't see after a while for like 18 years, I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Whose father was with him on his much more interesting adventure in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
I think that was that the Hydra scientist guy from Captain America?
Yeah, it might be, yeah. I don't know for sure, but kind of looked like him.
Sounded like him.
Yeah. His name was Basil, and he became obsessed with this dial thing.
Because apparently you can travel through time, maybe?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that.
Yeah, so...
And she's kind of like, I guess you could call her a gender-swapped Indiana Jones, but she's like Temple of Doom era Indiana Jones if he was even more of a jerk.
I guess, like, the word comes to mind, she's kind of like a scoundrel, where, like, you would say, like, Indiana Jones is a dashing rogue. It's just like, she's just, like, a bad person.
Well, I mean, it's circa Temple of Doom, he was, like, fortune and glory.
True. Yeah, I guess...
But, honestly, I feel like he learned a lesson in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think she learned a lesson. I think she's just gonna go back to stealing shit.
Maybe? Yeah.
There's nothing in that movie to indicate that she's gonna be more of a on the up and up archaeologist adventurer.
Yeah, she's not even like an archaeologist. She's like...
She says she is, but she's probably lying. I don't freaking know.
She's like literally straight up like Nathan Drake from like Uncharted, where like just like...
Yeah, she's just a thief.
Yeah, she's a thief. Like Nathan Drake has
got
like knowledge.
Debts to all these people and stuff. You're right.
Yeah,
She is Nathan Drake. Because Nathan Drake, he's not an archaeology professor or anything. Like, he doesn't have a doctorate. He just knows stuff and is just stealing shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just pretty much Nathan Drake, you know?
The circle is now complete.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Indiana Jones, Lara Croft, Nathan Drake, this chick.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know if the original Lara Croft was just like a thief. It's been forever since I played original Tomb Raider.
My knowledge
so
is
it might have
super
been
limited.
like a full circle where it just goes to like, and now she's just Lara Croft. Like original recipe Lara Croft. But who knows? I don't remember Tomb Raider. You fight a T-Rex in that game for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think I used to know that. I forgot.
She's got 2 guns.
They spent an entire movie building up to that once.
They did. I like that movie.
Yeah. Well, they took too long to try to make a sequel, apparently.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Speaking of taking too long to make a sequel,
yeah.
It took 15 years to make this movie, and the best they could come up with is, I don't know, time travel?
Here...
I'll say this. Sallah had a cameo. I like Sallah. It was nice to see him again.
Salah's great. I will also say this. When the movie is not in like way too long like chase scenes, which do last way too long.
I mean, I get why they leaned into the chase scenes because Harrison Ford is super old.
Yeah, but this movie does feel kind of long for the most part. I think like where
they really wanted to front load it with that opening scene of actual good fun Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah. I think where the movie does shine is like kind of the mystery of, this style of destiny and the stuff with Archimedes and trying to solve like, where the treasure is. Like they have to go underwater to find like, the piece. They find like this tablet thing that leads them to another part. It's like all that stuff is great.
Yeah, that stuff's
until it like leads up to like, it just like goes completely too far.
To illustrate how overly long this movie is, I don't know, you speculated that most of his stuff must have been cut, but Antonio Banderas is in this movie for some reason.
Yeah.
And like, you wouldn't even realize it at first because his introduction is so subdued. There's barely anything to it. He barely does or says anything, and then he just gets shot and killed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of Indiana Jones' friend. He says he's the best frog man he knows, which
at least
is
the
like
best
a
frog
diver.
man in Sicily or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's a non-character. I don't like. Did Antonio Banderas just want to be in an Indiana Jones movie?
I think he must have had cut scenes because there is a scene where Indy is talking to, Elena or Helena. I don't know her name. And like he's like literally walking around in the background, and I'm like, I feel like this was like set up for him to like interject to say something in this scene, but like it just never happens.
Yeah, it's weird. It's awkward.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? This guy played Zorro once. Yeah. Well, twice, but we don't talk about the second time.
He's Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. So, I don't understand why he's being so underutilized.
Yeah.
Like, not even there's a version of this where like a fun extended Antonio Banderas cameo would be, oh, that was cool, that was neat. But it's not even that.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Yeah. He tells him about his like diving method of like diving really quick so you don't get the bends.
That's the most he talks in this movie.
Yeah. And then like he tries to like fight like the evil Nazi guy at one point, but like doesn't really because he kind of just like immediately gets shot, then he stands up and then gets shot again. It's just like, oh.
A lot of people get bluntly shot in this movie.
Yeah, I guess that's a little jarring. There's like a subplot of the CIA helping this Nazi guy because I guess he helped them figure out how to make the rocket to go to the moon.
Yeah, much like in real life, some Nazi scientists help get people to the moon,
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it happened.
It happened,
Yeah, I can't do anything about it. It happened. What's past is prologue and all that. And yeah, like a couple of his goons just bluntly shoot a couple of Indy's coworkers.
Yeah, seriously. They are like unnecessarily violent.
Yeah, and then like the CIA lady, she gets shot and killed. I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, she kind of seemed like, I don't know, it's like 1969 and she's kind of like... She looked more 70s to me.
I mean, they're virgin on the 70s, but I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a...
I don't know too much about the 60s. I guess she looked a little groovy, I guess. Or was that 70s? I don't know.
That was maybe? Well, hippies. No. I don't know. Maybe it bled into the 70s. I don't know.
She had an afro.
I wasn't around back then.
Yeah.
Or was I?
I don't know.
Maybe I had the Dial of Destiny.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I think the Dial of Destiny, that's like the main thing that like is both interesting, but like they just go too far with it. Because like the mystery of it.
Yeah, they really do.
Like having two halves and like the mystery of it, like can it really like have you travel back in time? And if the movie kind of kept it more ambiguous of like, does it really work or does it? Or what does it actually do? If it got broke before they actually got to use it.
Or like maybe you just see the white void and you're like, oh my god. And then like maybe the plane that just the Nazis are on goes in and explodes before they go all the way through.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what just happened.
Yeah, because like it's a lightning storm, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we talked about it a bunch with like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I was like, yeah, that UFO was too far. I owe that UFO an apology.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I owe that UFO. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lucas. I'm sorry, George.
Yeah. So I guess spoilers. Indiana Jones goes 2,000 years into the past during like, I guess like a Roman-Greek war in Sicily.
I don't know.
They go into the past.
They meet Archimedes. It's a really long scene.
Yeah. There's a plane flying around that like all like the Roman soldiers think is like a dragon.
Yeah. And they shoot the hell out of it with their giant spears.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat, but also weird and out of place in an Indiana Jones movie.
And it's even weirder that, like, when they're in the past, like, Indiana Jones is, like, trying to stay in the past.
Also, like, there's, like, one of the Nazis is just like, we gotta shoot them. Like, he's just angrily shooting them. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you bothering? What are you doing? Yeah. Idiot. Yeah, and like you said, Indiana Jones is like, I'm gonna stay here. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I know you're sad, Indiana Jones, for no real reason. Are you just sad so we can have this dramatic scene where he's all like, I'm gonna stay here because I got nothing waiting for me in the present or future or whatever. And she's all like, no, you do. You definitely do. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we in the past? Why are there centurions? What? Why?
There's a lot of that. Like that whole sequence kind of is just like the whole movie kind of jumps the shark, and it's just like
the fridge. Apologize to the fridge.
Yeah, literally time travel. Literally, like not even like a little bit of time travel. 2,000 years into the past.
It's not even just that they did it. It's that, like, good Lord. No wonder this movie is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I saw the budget. It's like, this movie cost almost $300 million. Like, why? Now I know.
De-aging and, like, yeah, this big, like, Greek-Roman battle that happens.
Seriously. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, and it turns out the dial is really just sort of like it only goes to the one place in time, apparently. Or at least that's what's her name speculates.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I thought maybe they were going to undo Shia LaBeouf's death. That maybe, like, she would have done something, and then she would have fell through, like, a time portal, and, like, she came out, like, maybe only, like, a year or two ago and meets up with him. It's like, oh, I didn't go that far back in time, just a year or so. And then, like, Indiana Jones is like, oh, my God, my son's back. My life is normal. I'm happy.
That, I don't know how I would have felt. I mean,
I would have preferred that over ancient Roman warfare.
Yeah.
Ancient Greece, whatever, I don't know.
They really should have kept that more ambiguous to, like, if it actually did travel in time. Because, like...
Even if it did, just don't... They're too far. Just, I don't know.
Because, like, it's...
I get that, this is a fantasy series in a lot of ways. You know, you had the Wrath of God from the Ark of the Covenant, the magic voodoo stones and shit, a Holy Grail, a 1,000-year-old knight. So I don't need it to be that ambiguous. They've had fucking aliens in the last one. But I don't need to see Indiana Jones actually travel through time. It just doesn't feel right.
I mean, they foreshadow it when they find Archimedes' grave with, like, the eagle with the propellers on the wings. And
the watch.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, what is happening?
I can't believe they went that far.
And, yeah,
it's
kind of dumb. And
I don't know what the all-around reaction to that is going to be. Yeah. I'm very curious. Because people lost their minds about the aliens and the fridge.
Yeah.
So what the hell's going to happen with this?
I don't know. Like, the time travel is just, like, a pretty weird pill to swallow for Indiana Jones. Like, granted, you did have the Ark of the Covenant, like you said, that melted people, but...
I don't know. There was something otherworldly, supernatural about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, maybe leaning into sci-fi maybe was the wrong call.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what this is continuing on from with, like, Crystal Skull, leaning more towards sci-fi. Which, I get, you want to do something different, but I don't know, I can't say it works.
Yeah. Like, bringing Archimedes into it is interesting. He's like an interesting figure throughout like history. But yeah, you know, in some ways it's almost like there's a lot of other like, you know, mysteries Indiana Jones could do, like, you know, the Lost City of Atlantis or something like that.
That's sort of like a go-to cliche one.
Yeah.
I think there's like a game and there's books and stuff probably.
Yeah, but like this is just kind of like time travel. Let's do it.
Why?
I don't know. Trying to think of some other things.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know. There was 4 writers for this movie.
Too many for a movie that's mostly chase scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I guess the one girl, Helena, she's got like an evil short round. Or he's not really evil.
No.
He's just like, she has a short round.
Yeah.
His name's Teddy. He does enough in the movie.
I had no particular issues with him.
Yeah, I like the scene where he escapes the giant guy and like handcuffs him underwater. That's probably why I just like think like, oh, he's like short round, except he murders people. But then I'm like, wait, I think short round murdered people too. So.
He had to murder people. Yeah. He was in the Temple of Doom.
Yeah. So
I mean, look, points for creativity and how he was able to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, like that was clever. And, you know, he had the little thing where, like, I can't swim. Now I have to swim.
Yeah. Antonio Banderas told him how to swim with, like, some rhyme that I'm forgetting. That was, like, one of 3 lines he had in the movie.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he shouts at him before they go diving for that one Roman vessel or Greek vessel.
I just kept wondering, is Antonio Banderas going to be a character or not? And the answer was not.
No.
There was a boat captain that showed up for like 5 minutes in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He felt more well-rounded and developed. Yeah. He actually had a proper introduction.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you know, for such like a globe-trotting movie, there's really not too many characters in the movie. It's like, you got like the evil Nazi guy and his like 2 main stooges. I guess like the CIA lady who like gets killed pretty quick.
I mean, these movies never had that many characters.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go nuts about that. I mean, you know, when they come back to the present of 1969 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Indy and Marion reconcile.
Which is nice.
Yeah. We get another appearance by Sala, which is also nice.
Yeah.
He starts singing again. Man can still sing.
Yeah.
Unless that's just audio from the first movie played.
I hope not. He's got a great voice, that guy.
You know, they have a nice little moment between Indy and Marion, and the camera pans, everyone else is leaving to go get ice cream or whatever, and we close on Indy's hat, and the hand pulls it back into the apartment, and I'm like, oh my God, does she make him wear the hat while they do it? Why are you making me think of that?
I don't want to think of geriatrics doing that.
Oh my God, does she want to use the whip too?
Man.
Oh my, this is what this movie did to me. It made me bored and think of dumb things.
Yeah. Goes on a little too long.
It's a little boring in places.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not the big, final, epic send-off that they tried to market this as. It just isn't. It really isn't.
I don't know how it could be, like, you know.
It doesn't feel like a final adventure. It just felt like it was an adventure, and he was, like, really old.
It's like an epilogue to an epilogue.
It really is. Yeah. Last Crusade, I've said this before, the way you end the story of an adventure hero, he rides off into the sunset, they did it, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And you can't top that. And they haven't.
No.
They made 2 more movies, and they never came even close to it.
Yeah. Like, Crystal Skull was an epilogue, and this is, I guess, like a epilogue to Crystal Skull, which is just like, Crystal Skull had its problems when it came out, but honestly, it had a better ending.
Yeah.
And
Indiana Jones living happily ever after.
Yeah.
Married, son. Now it's like, oh, I got my wife.
Yeah.
Not much of a son. Where's Short Round?
Yeah, seriously.
How did they drop the ball on that?
I don't know.
You telling me you couldn't reshoot that final scene, bring that guy in? You had time. I know you had time. You got the money. You burn it most of the time.
Yeah, you really do.
I mean, just spend more of it. You're probably not getting it back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Ultimately, I will say that this is not a bad movie. However, I will say it's definitely the weakest Indiana Jones movie.
You know, it might be.
Yeah. Maybe wait for this one to watch it at home just because of the length. Yeah. The length is a bit of an issue. It doesn't manage its time well, I feel. I don't know how to say this, but like the action scenes are kind of some of the more boring parts of this movie.
Because it's mostly chase scenes, and chase scenes can get kind of boring.
Yeah.
Unless there's like more urgency towards them, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
They weren't spectacular. Like, we had some crazy chase scenes in the other stuff. We had the mine cart, the tank chase.
They kind of lacked, like, tension sometimes. They were just kind of like, oh, like, we're playing tag now. Like, especially since, like, the one in Morocco is just, like, you know, it's Indy and Helena chasing the Nazi guy, but then there's also, like, this Moroccan mobster chasing them, too, because Helena was gonna, like, trick him into, like, falling in love with her, but then she just was using him to get like
if you're gonna cut
stuff.
If you're gonna cut somebody out of the movie, cut that guy out.
Yeah. It's kind of like a unnecessary like side plot. I guess it kind of just set up like, yeah, Helena's like a real scoundrel and, you know, she's not a good person.
And she doesn't get redemption.
No.
Not really.
Not really, yeah. I guess like she makes Indiana Jones not stay in the past to ruin history.
And she called Marion, I guess?
Yeah.
Like, that was her redemptive moment. She picked up a phone.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got him off of those murder charges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was kind of...
Because they mentioned, because he had a bloody... He grabbed the phone, and the phone was covered in blood with his fingerprints all over it when he tried to call 911. And he was kind of implicated in murder? How'd they handle that? Oh, they just didn't talk about it after a certain point in the movie. That's how they handled it.
Yeah, I guess so.
How many writers was there again?
There's 4.
Good job. Good job, Lucasfilm. You tried to end another legendary series, and once again, you fucked up in the end.
Yeah, another...
I mean, I wouldn't call this...
Another swing and a miss.
I wouldn't call this a Rise of Skywalker disaster, but this is like...
definitely not.
You whiffed. You bunted. You were on the plate. You were all ready to hit a home run. You hit 3 balls, and you panicked and bunted, and you walked disappointedly to first base.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
It's... Yeah. But anyway, I don't know what else to say about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Don't touch that dial.